Hey, and welcome to the Chef's Table, a weekly video series for culinary entrepreneurs who want to monetize their skills outside of the kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Evelyn. This is the place for successful women who want to live, cook, and work on their own terms. So if that's you, let's get started. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Chef's Table. I'm Chef Evelyn, and this is a video series where I help culinary entrepreneurs, particularly women, build high-end culinary brands with multiple streams of income. And I am so excited to be back with you at the beginning of a new year because 2020 was something else. Okay, there were some parts that we all know were not the greatest, and then there were some parts for some of us that some of us had a really good year. And I know that's not everybody's story, but you know, some of us did have a good year despite all the thing that was going on in the world. So I'm excited to be back with you for a new season of the Chef's Table. I'm back in the studio filming and recording, and I've got some amazing things to bring you this year. And so I figured I would kick off the year with talking about my passion for a high-end culinary brand and why this year is the year that you need to quit playing with your life, quit playing with your business, and build a high-end culinary brand. So if you've watched any of my videos before, then you've heard me talk about a high-end culinary brand, a luxury culinary brand, all of that. But I'm really going to go deep into what that is, why you should create one, what it looks like over the next few weeks, because I think that is a solution to what a lot of people experienced last year, particularly in our industry. There was a lot of restaurant closures. There were a lot of chefs out of work. There were a lot of people who were furloughed. There was just a lot going on. And, you know, I've been talking about having multiple streams of income in your business for several years now. If you go back and look at my channel, and the message has not changed. The world may have changed, but the message over here has not changed. So today I want to talk about why you should have and build a high-end culinary brand in this year. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do so. Turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any of these trainings that I'm uploading every single week. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So the first things first is that 2020 showed us the danger of having all of our eggs in one basket. Listen, I don't care how big the basket was. I don't care how many eggs were in the basket. If the anvil falls and you've only got one basket and all of your eggs are there, guess what? It crushes all of your eggs. Okay, maybe I've taken that example a little bit too far, but I will tell you, I live not too far from a shopping area that had lots of, chef owned or family owned restaurants. And it is a desert. It is a ghost town. All of them closed. They had no other revenue stream. They had nothing to lean on, nothing to pivot to, right? And so one of the things that I'm going to say till I'm blue in the face, you're probably going to get tired of me saying this, but if you've been watching me for a while, you already know, is that you need to have multiple streams of income in your business. I'll use myself for example. I have multiple streams of income in my business, and one of those streams of income was doing in-person cooking classes with groups and organizations and companies and things like that, right? Well, obviously, with 2020, that came to a screeching halt. But guess what? I was able to just refocus my energy on some of my other revenue streams and even pivot that revenue stream because I already had the systems and the strategies in place and was able to triple my income from 2019 to 2020. Triple in the middle of all of the craziness. And so I don't say that to be braggadocious. I don't say that to be like, ooh, look at me. I'm saying that because that is the importance. It was so heartbreaking to watch all of these businesses, people lose their businesses, their heart and soul, and I would tell you, whether it was a restaurant or personal chefs or caterers, even some of my clients who do catering or things like that, were able to lean on another revenue stream until they were able to pivot or get back to what I call their anchor revenue stream, right? So first and foremost, it's all about not having your eggs in one basket. And part of having a high-end culinary brand is about having multiple streams of income, because you can have one stream of income and it can be huge, but under the wrong circumstances, under the wrong year, under the wrong whatever, that thing can come tumbling down. And so we've seen that happen with some of our colleagues in the industry. So second thing is that I would recommend, and you guys know I've been talking about this, I've done videos about this, is that you need a high-end culinary brand because you need one of those revenue streams to be online. It needs to be digital, whether it's selling something online, whether it's doing online classes, which I've been doing for 10 years. So no, I did not all of a sudden miraculously start doing online classes just because of, everything that happened in 2020 and the lockdown. And if you're wondering why I'm not saying the big words, is because YouTube be trying to play with your videos when you say certain words. So you know what I'm talking about. So if I keep saying everything that happened in 2020, then you understand why I'm doing that. So one of those components needs to be online. Listen, our business is very service based. I totally get that. Our business is very personal. Our industry is very high touch. It's very physical, labor intensive. And even still, you still need a component of your business that's online so that you can be making money when you're sleeping, so that you can be making money when you're on vacation, so that you can be making money while you're working the more active things, so you can be making money while you are doing the hands-on things, and so that in the event that something happens to you or the world or our industry, God forbid, that, I want us all to be healthy, but that you can make money online, and I've told this story before, that almost five years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And in that year, I had to stop working, right? And so what was beautiful about that season, if you can imagine, is that I had already had 6 years of doing things online under my belt. So I was able to pivot. Now the world didn't close down, my world just closed down. I was able to pivot my skills and do something that I could do from home while I was resting, while I was going to doctor's appointments and treatments, while I was just recuperating from that news, right? So whether it is something global, whether it's something to your individual family, it doesn't even have to be something bad or scary or sad. It could be I just want to take off, or I just don't want to work every night, weekend, and holiday, or I don't want to miss time with my family and friends. Or if you have children, they're growing up so fast and you're if I'm working 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, even if you're in your own business or if you're working for somebody else, what's the point? What's the point of doing what you love if you don't get to spend time with the people that you love and the things that you enjoy? Okay. So that brings me to my next point, which is a high-end culinary brand is built around your life, not your life built around the business or built around the job, right? And so I think what we learned from not being able to spend as much time with people as we wanted last year, how that is number one, is at the top of the list. It's the most important thing. And so because of that, if you can only take 2 to 4 weeks of vacation a year, if you have to ask permission from someone, if you can take off, if you can be off, if you can attend this, if you can just rest, if you've got to call in, let somebody know, well, I'm going to be late, or I'm tired, or I'm just not feeling it today because the world is going up in flames and I need a minute. Okay, if you don't have the luxury of doing that, then this is the year for you to build a high-end culinary brand. Because when I work with my clients, we don't start with the business. We start with their life, and then we build the business that fits with the kind of life that they want, so that you don't have to choose. It's not an either or, it's an and. I can have the kind of business that I want. I can make the kind of money that I want. I can live the kind of life that I want. And I can spend my time the way I so see fit, whether that's vacationing, whether you just want to sleep in, whether you don't like working on the weekends or at night. I know I'm not a big fan of working on nights and weekends. And so I was just when I design my business, not going to be a whole lot of that, right? And so this is the year to do that. A lot of people think that just because they're great in the kitchen or they're great at whatever they do when it comes to food, that they can just go and start their business and go off. And what happens is they end up building a job, not a company, and they're working around the clock. And because now they're wearing 27 different hats, where before at their one job they were wearing 3 hats that they were complaining about, because they built a bigger job with more responsibilities because they didn't know how to build a brand, a business built around the way that they are naturally wired, the way they like to function, what they really truly want. And so this is the year, right? We lost a lot of people in 2020. Whether you lost them personally, whether you lost them from afar, we lost some celebrated people. Like, we sat in the house for a really, really long time, no matter where you are in the world. It's time to live your life. And if you've been sitting around being like, okay, one day at some point, or if you've already started your business, but you're like, I'm working like a crazy person, and yeah, the money is good, but like, I'm exhausted, I'm burnt out. If I stop working, the money stops coming in, right? Like, if that's your experience, this is the year to build a high-end culinary brand. And listen, I'm hype because I haven't been with y'all for a minute, and I really took the time this year to, one, my client load picked up this year, last year substantially, and being booked for a lot of different things virtually. But I also took the time to really come back and say, what kind of content can I create for you going forward that's really going to benefit you, right? Like, I don't just want to be adding noise. I don't want to say things that you've heard other people say. There's a lot of people that are going to tell you how to start your personal chef business, and there's a lot of people that can tell you how to start your food blog, and there's a lot of people that can tell you how to start a catering company. And listen, they are knowledgeable, okay, and they're probably successful. So this is no discredit to them. There are some successful people out there. But if you ask them about their quality of life, and if you ask them about, are they building a business that could potentially outlast them? If you ask them about their working hours and their working condition and their home life and how they have interwoven that with their business, you might get a different story, right? So success is not always just about the money or the pretty pictures on Instagram or the food blog. I know some food bloggers who are spending a lot of money producing pretty content, producing amazing recipes, and are spending all the coins, hoping and wishing and praying that a brand at some point might maybe give them a sponsorship, versus leveraging those skills into a high-end culinary brand. And that if a brand comes along, that's great, but these skills are amazing, they're worth something, and I can be doing something with that to generate revenue in the meantime. And then that brand or that sponsorship, it's just a bonus, right? Or it's another revenue stream. So anyway, as you can tell, I'm super passionate this year. We're going to start it off with a bang. I'm not playing with y'all this year because I care too much. I was so sad when I saw all of the closures and I saw what was happening to people, and the fact that I was able to see my clients pivot and thrive and see my own business triple in income. Like, I was like, everybody's situation doesn't have to be your situation, right? Just because everybody else had a trash year doesn't mean you have to have a trash year. Just because everybody else is going to do things the way they've already been done, even though, what has happened has shown us that there are gaps and holes in that approach, that doesn't have to be you. This is a place where you can come, where you can get equipped, where you can get prepared, where you can get your mindset right, and if need be, you can get the resources and the intimate coaching that you need so that you can build a high-end culinary brand. So, last thing I want to say is, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I think I said this at the beginning, but it's worth saying again if you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications, because like I said, I'm going to be dropping this wonderful, delicious juiciness every single week. And also make sure you're following me on Instagram at Chef Evelyn, because I've got some surprises for you this year. I have been working on some amazing things behind the scene, but you'll see them later in this year, and you want to stay tuned. Oh, and if you're not following me on Instagram, then you might miss out on the fact that I'm going to do a very small, unofficially announced, I'm just telling you about it, masterclass on how to teach cooking classes with a focus on how to teach online cooking class in particular. I haven't opened up my cooking class, that Sizzle program, publicly. I didn't do it at all in 2020, since 2019, and I haven't taught it live since 2019. So I've revamped it, I've redone it. Instead of it being 90 days, it's going to be 5 weeks. But to find out about all that, you've got to be following me on Instagram, or you can send me an email privately. I'll let you know when things open up, because listen, I'm going to offer it at the current rate that it's been since 2019 and since 2020. And then after this time at the beginning of the year, game changer, because I've added some new stuff. It's juicy, it's good. Anyway, we're going to spend 5 weeks developing the online portion, but you still get access to all the rest. Anyway, I'll tell you more about it later. So make sure you stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in this next video. Peace. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a new episode. And to see what I'm cooking up behind the scenes, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Chef Evelyn. That's all for today, and I'll see you next week. Peace.